Jesse Michaelberg, and I'm from Bickelhaus. I was asked to present to you today about my experience this summer. It may not be as jolly or fun as you expect, but it was an experience nonetheless. The video you're about to watch is of Israel's National Life-Saving Service. They are called Magen David Adom. Magen David being the Jewish symbol, and Adom meaning red, this name copies or resembles the Red Cross.
לתת את הנשמה ואת הלב, לתת כשאתה אוהב, ואיך מוצאים את
So Magen David Adom works 365 days a year and operates 700 ambulances and 120 mobile intensive care units. All this is done through the extraordinary abilities of 12,000 volunteers and 1,650 employees who do an incredible job 24 hours a day. This summer I was one of those volunteers. On June 8th, before school officially ended, I traveled to Israel to do my part in serving the country. I spent 10 days and 10 hours every day studying and learning all that can happen to the human body, to our bodies, along with the signs, symptoms, and treatment. This is because for the next 6 weeks, I would be working for Magen David Adom out of a station an hour outside of Tel Aviv as a full-time medic. Any calls that were made during my 8-hour shift, I would respond to by jumping into an ambulance and driving towards the location with the driver. The calls were not filtered, and I wasn't treated like a newcomer. Despite what I expected about there being some sort of process to ease me into work, I was thrown into real life-threatening situations faster than I could believe. Now, some of you may be a little uneasy if an 18-year-old showed up to help your injured brother. But in Israel, there is an utmost respect for those our age. The teenagers there don't talk about what university they're going to after high school. Instead, it's what department of the army. Israel's army is the best defense army in the world, and is made up of 18 to 21-year-olds. They are mature and accountable, and all that responsibility fell on me my first day of work. My first call at 6:30 in the morning was to a man who had been injured at a construction site. He was bleeding badly from his forehead. We quickly bandaged him up and drove him to the hospital. I vividly remember cleaning the blood off his face. But not all the calls were this easy. This next video is of a medic talking about one of his calls, but you can tell in the way he speaks that he's a very friendly man and the organization is like a family.
ברמקול אמרו לנו, צוות נתן, יש מקרה ביבנה שמישהו צעיר בקומה. נסענו לשעה וראינו בחור בן 30, מפעל, שופר, מחוסר הכרה, נכון? היה לו קצב לפה, נתן לנו סוכה, עשינו מענים, סימנים, לחץ דם, סיטואציה, הכל בסדר, והתעורר, אוקיי? נכון? ולקחנו אותו לקפלן, אוקיי? להשגיח. איך אומרים להשגיח?
אין בעיה, אין בעיה.
סימן, איך אומרים להשגיח באנגלית? I'm 25 years paramedic. I'm the old paramedic. Yes? But he worked in Magen David.
So I want you guys to do something for me. I want all you to close your eyes. All of you close your eyes right now, please. Close your eyes and imagine speeding through the streets in an ambulance, not knowing what to expect when those back doors open. The car stops. You hop out with an EKG in your left hand. You climb 8 floors of stairs. When you finally arrive, a man is signaling you into his home. He brings you to his wife, lying on the bathroom floor with blood everywhere. She's having a miscarriage. In other words, she's losing her baby. Now keep your eyes closed. And imagine you arrive to a scene where an old woman has just been hit by a taxi. She has cracked her skull and broken her ankle. When you try to calm her, she refuses to comply. For the entire ride to the hospital, she grabs at everything she can. This woman has had a severe concussion, has lost her memory and her ability to speak. I'll tell you about one more, just keep your eyes shut. You have been called to a suicide attempt. Arriving at the scene is hectic. A man has just jumped off his third-story balcony and impaled himself on the building's surrounding fence. He's still alive, but dies on the way to the hospital. Now open your eyes. I apologize if I made you feel uncomfortable, but those calls were only 3 of the 100 plus calls I received at work. As stressful as those situations may be, they come with a certain content. You see, we brought the woman who was having a miscarriage to the hospital in time for a C-section and actually saved the baby. The old lady who was hit by a car was eventually contained and had a full recovery, so it's not all that bad. But it was still a lot to deal with, and so I found a release. At first, that release was surfing in my free time. When that wasn't enough, I decided to go hitchhiking through the desert and camp out on the Dead Sea. When I needed something else to take my mind off work, I got this, a piercing. Going out and doing something unconventional helped me get through everything I experienced. So on the last day of my trip to Israel, there was a graduation ceremony, which was an event to celebrate my 200 plus hours of work, along with the other new medics. Our celebration was interrupted by an announcement that a bus of Israelis had just been bombed. I wanted nothing more than to go out and help, but I was flying home early that next morning. It just so happens that on the flight home, a man had fainted in the bathroom, and I was called up to help. What I witnessed and took part in this summer is something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. If I could teach you guys anything, it would be to stay calm in the worst of situations, and the fact that one person can make a difference in the lives of others. So I now feel responsible for the well-being of the people around me, and of the continuation of this program. So later on this year, I'll be making some sort of announcement related to this, and I'll be raising money for MDA Experience. If anyone has any questions or wants to email me, raise money or something like that, stop me in the hallway. We can take it from there. Thank you guys very much. Thanks for listening.